The Environment and Land Court has sentenced Nakuru Governor Sudan Kihika and the Nakuru Water and Sanitation Services Company, Nawasco Chief Executive Officer James Gachathi, to a 6-month jail term or a 2 million Kenya shillings fine for contempt of illegal waste disposal into Lake Nakuru. In a ruling by Justice Anthony Ombwayo, both the Nawasco boss and Governor Kihika failed to comply with orders issued on September 26th last year, halting the disposal of waste into Lake Nakuru. Justice Ombwayo said that non-compliance undermines the authority of the court and the rule of law. He noted that despite receiving the court orders regarding the matter, the county ignored the orders and permitted the continued dumping of both solid and liquid toxic waste into Lake Nakuru. Ombwayo said the county government bears significant responsibility for the environment and the degradation of the lake.
There's a report that as of 2015, Lake Nakuru was one of the most fresh lakes in the world. It's a report that was done by Nat Geo. After that, now 2015 is not such a long time, but I don't know when the rain started beating us. But from around 2010 is when the locals started noticing fish dying, and that's what prompted tests to be done on the lake. Yeah, and as of right now, the situation is so bad, that lake is so toxic. Yeah, and in fact, the fish from the lake is not fit for human consumption.
Juja Member of Parliament George Kiumburu is being detained by detectives attached to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations (DCI) after he was arrested this morning and denied release on bail. Speaking out at the DCI headquarters, Kiambu Senator Karungo Thango has accused President William Ruto of using intimidation tactics to silence his critics, particularly lawmakers questioning the government decisions. Thango has claimed the move was politically motivated, linking it to Kiumburu's inquiry into the funds used in Raila Odinga's unsuccessful bid for the African Union Commission chairmanship. The senator argued that while the president appears frustrated by Raila's loss, Kenyans are more disappointed by issues such as the scrapping of NHIF and housing policies.
What we have witnessed today is the same tactics used by President Ruto to intimidate, to silence, and try to keep those who criticize him, keep them quiet so that they don't say anything. But I think, looking at the thing, I think Raila's defeat at the AUC imeuma watu sana, kwa serikali imewauma, and that's why they are now taking every single opportunity that they have to try to harass a member of parliament. A member of parliament is given an opportunity by the constitution to oversight, to represent, and of course to come up with law. So when Koimburi questions, a question that I'm going to ask on the floor of the house today, how much money was used to campaign for one defeated Raila Odinga? How much was used? That is a question any member of parliament would use. But we are telling the president, you say you are disappointed because Raila lost. We are disappointed you have taken our health NHIF. We are disappointed you are building houses and you are buying them.
The Juja lawmaker Koimburi, a vocal government critic, had recently alleged that the government spent 13 billion Kenya shillings campaigning for Odinga during the African Union Commission elections. He was apprehended shortly after leaving his residence on Kenyatta Road in Juja, where he claimed to have noticed 2 Subaru vehicles stationed outside his home. According to the MP, DCI officers apprehended him and drove him along the Kiambu Road.
Pearl Newsbeat.
And Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has strongly condemned those who are promoting tribalism in the country, asserting that such individuals have no place in the country's development. In a statement that appeared to be a subtle rebuke of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Kindiki challenged those preaching tribal divisions to show tangible results from their positions and how they have contributed to the country's progress. Speaking at his current residence during a meeting with Meru leaders in Nairobi, Kindiki emphasized that tribalism has no place in the country's future, particularly under the Kenya Kwanza regime.
Mtu asikudanganye ati ndio uonekane wewe ni maarufu, unaenda kupiga kelele ya ukabila na uko na nafasi ya uongozi katika taifa. It is wrong. It is unconstitutional. Sio kama tunaelewana. Yeah, that is the ideological differences we are having with some of our colleagues. Because they want us to shout, oh, I'm doing this, I come from here. But today, Wameru wanaishi kila mahali katika nchi ya Kenya. So if you develop everywhere, you are also supporting our people there.
Pearl Newsbeat.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Administrative Justice has issued a 7-day ultimatum to the Social Health Authority SHA CEO Robert Ngasira to provide a detailed breakdown of the 7.3 billion Kenya shillings disbursed to 5,000 health facilities countrywide. The directive follows a complaint by a Kenyan citizen, Colin Somolo, who sought clarity on the allocation process after SHA failed to disclose the information within the statutory timelines under the Access to Information Act of 2016. According to the Commission, the funds 1.3 billion Kenyan shillings from the Primary Healthcare Fund and 6 billion Kenyan shillings from the Social Health Insurance Fund were distributed between October and December last year, but the authority has yet to explain the exact disbursement criteria. CAG Chairperson Charles Dulo emphasized that SHA must submit an institutional report detailing the allocation formula, a list of recipient facilities, and revenue collections for the 3-month period.
Pearl Newsbeat.
And learning in secondary schools in Turkana County is set to grind to a halt over pending bills after the national government failed to remit funds to the devolved unit. The members of the Union of Kenya Post-Primary Education Teachers say they're unable to provide basic essential learning materials against accruing pending bills they owe to suppliers. The teachers have now urged the national government to transfer funds to counties expeditiously to avert any looming learning paralysis in Turkana learning institutions.
It has become a little bit hard for us. We are grappling with the debts. In Turkana here, most of our suppliers have declined to offer their supplies to schools. We have actually made even an appeal to His Excellency the Governor of Turkana County to consider sharing to us the relief food, if that is also possible. But I said, because if that is only the only means available.
We are pleading with the government to release funds to the counties. We have tried to maintain students in our institution, but it is becoming hard. We can't even support the co-curricular activities at the moment.
We received the capitation from the government, though there were challenges. That capitation, I think it was not the expected amount. We expected 50% of the total amount, but we got less than 50%, which I don't know. I think it could be around 16% or even 20%, somewhere there. I can't get the real percentage, but it was less than 50%, which we expected as schools.
Pearl Newsbeat.
And Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has dismissed opposition leader Kizza Besigye's hunger strike as a form of unprincipled blackmail, arguing that the government has provided him with adequate medical care. In a statement today, Museveni emphasized that Besigye, who remains in detention, has access to both government and private healthcare services. The president questioned Besigye's decision to go on hunger strike instead of seeking a swift trial to address the charges against him, including illegal possession of a firearm and treachery, which carries the death penalty. Besigye's arrest and ongoing detention have ignited a debate over political freedoms in Uganda, with the supporters and international human rights organizations calling for his immediate release. His supporters have called for his immediate release, citing concerns over his health and the political nature of the charges against him. Besigye arrest and hunger strike have sparked renewed debate over political freedoms in the country.
Actions and creating a table, because one life is too many. The principle should be that the right to life is indivisible and cannot be quantified, and that once that is violated, the perpetrators are just as guilty or liable as if it happened to 100, 110 or so people. That said, yes, there has been abductions. The recent count places it at 6,000, and as cases have been resolved in courts, the count has dropped to 3,000.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.